everyone, welcome to Edufy. Today we are here in the part 6 of our series, MCQ series for the upcoming exam, where we are covering important questions from the history part. So our first question is, the first Factory Act 1881 aimed primarily at the abolishing child labor, completely improving the wages of worker, regulating the working hours of women and children, providing right to strike. So here the answer is C, regulating the working hours. It is for the first time, working hours are regulated for women and children. So answer is C. That is first Factory Act. Next, you will see the question is, with reference to the development of railways in the colonial industries, consider the following statements. So with respect to coming of railways brought by Britishers, we will see which is correct and which is false. First is, railways were introduced primarily to serve the British economic and the strategic interest. Yes, railways were introduced for that only. Indian capital played a dominant role in the railway construction. No, statement 2 is incorrect, because it was more of a British capital, not Indian capital, because at that time Indian private sector was not that developed. Railways contributed to the integration of Indian market. Yes, the railways were strategically laid down from the ports towards the interior of India, so that India could become the source of raw material, as well as source of raw material for the British industries, as well as it could become the market for the British industries, and the British Western products could deliver to the interiors of India. So answer will be 1 and 3. That is B. Next question. With reference to drain of wealth theory, consider the following statements. Drain of wealth theory was given by Dadabhai Naoroji in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in 1860s. So what is this drain of wealth? It refers to unrequited transfer of wealth from India to Britain. Yes, the wealth was transferred directly because India was made a colonial economy. So India was made a colony, so the wealth was transferred indirectly in the form of different transfers from India towards Britain. It included salary and pension paid to British officials. Yes, even the money and the pension that was given as salary to the British officials, or you can say, apart from that, whatever the wars they were taking, they were also going, the money was coming from Indian sources. Okay? That is drain of wealth. It was balanced by British capital inflow into the Indian industries. No, they did not brought industrialization from their capital into India. Okay, so third statement is wrong. The answer is 1 and 2. That is 1A only. Which of the following Indian thinkers were associated with the theory of economic drain? So who actually propounded the previous question which we have seen, drain of wealth theory, or who were the nationalist critique, who all were supportive of that drain of wealth theory? Those are Dadabhai Naoroji, R.C. Dutt, M.G. Ranade, or Mahadev Govind Ranade. All three are associated with the drain of, or the nationalist economic critique of the British India. So answer will be D. 1, 2 and 3. Next question. The civil disobedience movement differed from the non-cooperation movement because it involved A, boycott of foreign goods only, refusal to pay taxes, elite-led agitation, limited regional spread. So answer here will be B, refusal to pay taxes. What makes civil disobedience different from non-cooperation? It is, here in civil disobedience, the laws are disobeyed. Okay, so law was to pay tax, and to refusal to pay taxes, disobeying the law. Non-cooperation means we are not going to schools that are established by British, not following, not going to the services like civil services, all these things. That is non-cooperation. But in non-cooperation, no law was broken. Because in CDM laws were broken. So answer will be B, refusal to pay taxes. Next, Quit India movement was distinctive for. Why it is very famous? Quit India movement, the slogan is do or die, launched in 1942 by Gandhiji from Govalia tank in Maharashtra. So what is significant about this Quit India movement? That it was a leaderless mass upsurge. Okay, when Quit India movement was launched, immediately within 2-3 days, all the leaders across India were arrested by Britishers. But despite that, Quit India movement was successful because the local level leaders, the small leaders, the small people from their houses came out and supported this Quit India movement. So it was a leaderless struggle, and that is very distinctive of Quit India movement. So answer will be B. Next, with reference to Bharat history, Mahamandal, consider the following statement. It was one of the earliest Indian All India Women's Organization. Yes, that is true. India ki first all women organization. It was Bharat Stree Mahamandal. It was founded by Sarla Devi Chaudhrani. Remember this organization who is associated? Sarla Devi Chaudhrani. Yes. Its activity were confined only to women's education? No, it was taking voting rights of women, economic liberation of women, economic empowerment more than education. So answer will be 1 and 2. That is A. Coming to the next question, the permanent settlement was introduced by. So what is permanent settlement? It was a system of land revenue introduced by Britishers, primarily first in the Bengal region, then later on it was expanded to other areas. There were other two land revenue settlement also. One was Ryotwari and other was Mahalwari system. Okay. Who brought this permanent settlement? Here we are looking at permanent settlement. Who brought this? It was Lord Cornwallis. B. So answer is B. Next, you will see with reference to revolt of 1857, which of the following pairs are correctly matched? Means leaders are given and from where they are famous. First, Kuvar Singh. He was famous from Ara. Yes, it is correct. He was famous from Bihar region. Kuvar Singh. Begum Hazrat Mahal. Yes, she was the leader of 1857 from the Lucknow region. That is true. Khan Bahadur Khan was the leader from Bareilly. Here the answer will be D. All are correct. That is 1, 2 and 3. Next question. Which of the following are correctly match INC sessions and their president? So sessions are given and the president of the Congress session was given. So 1885 first session that was held in Bombay. It was headed by W.C. Banerjee, Domesh Chandra Banerjee. 1907 session, that was a session of split also. It was headed by Raj Bihari Ghosh. No, this is incorrect. Next, 1929 was the session to be held in Lahore. It is very famous. Purna Swaraj session, full independence session headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. So answer is 1 and 3. Answer will be A. Your homework is who headed the Surat split session or who headed the Congress session of Surat. So write in the comments. Next question. Ajivika sect. Now we are entering we are not concerned with modern history. Now we are entering into some of the questions from the ancient and the medieval history also, specifically with respect to the cultural aspect, because the question are focusing more on cultural domain in ancient and medieval. So first is Ajivika sect believed in karma, bhakti, absolute determinism, that is called niyati or atheism. The answer here is niyati. Means they said, Ajivika sect followers said that everything is already predetermined and it is written by the for those who are the universe makers. Okay, so it is niyati. Next question. Which council marked the split between Hinayan and Mahayayan Buddhism? So it was the fourth council that held in Kashmir under the patronage of Kanishk, that is the ruler at that time. So from fourth council onward, there was division within the Buddhism into Mahayayan and the Hinayan. Fine, the answer is D. Next question. The Natya Shastra, a treatise on dramaturgy, is attributed to the famous book, the first book which is a major treatise on dance drama in India, or the ancient text. The earliest text is written by Natya Shastra, is written by A. Kalidas, B. Bharata, C. Panani, D. Patanjali. Answer is B. Bharata. That is Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. It is very famous book. And it is not just dramatology famous, it is famous for dance also. Next is Alvars and Nayanars were associated with. So Sufism, Bhakti movement in South India, Tantric cult or Jainism. So Alvars and Nayanars were the Bhakti saints in South India. That is Bhakti movement began with in South India from 7th century on. Next question. Which of the following participated in the third Buddhist council under Ashok? So third Buddhist council held under Ashok under the patronage of Chok in Patliputra, and it was presided by which Buddhist monk? The question is that Nagarjun, Mogaliputta, Tissa, Ashwagosha, Vashumitra. And answer here is B. Mogalipattu Tissa. Next, the book Kitab ul Hind was written by Ibn Battuta, Al-Biruni, Amir Khusro, Zianuddin Barani. And your answer is B. Al-Biruni. Very famous book, Kitab ul Hind, written by Al-Biruni. He came during the time of Sultanate. Fine. And even before Sultanate, that is during the time period of Ghori. Which of the following language emerged as a result of Indo-Persian synthesis? So, after Mughals came in India, as well as the Persian language plus Indian language, that is Hindi, both clubbed, and they formed which language? Sanskrit, Braj Bhasha, Urdu, Tamil. And answer here is Urdu. See, Urdu. Next question. The doctrine of Anekantwad is central to Buddhism, Ajivika, Jainism, Charvak. It is central to C. Jainism. What does Anekantwad means? That there can be multiple truths. There can be multiple truths on the same matter. For example, there can be truth something for you and opposite can be the truth for me on the same matter. So that is the doctrine of Anekantavad. Next question. Which one of the following is not a three ratna of Buddhism? So Buddhism has three jewels that whenever we study Buddhism, हम सबसे पहले यही देखते हैं Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Nirvana, out of which are not part of the, which is not part of the three ratna. So it is Nirvana. Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, these are part of the three ratna of Buddhism. Next question. Which of the following text is associated with grammar? I hope you know the answer of this question. Arthashastra, Ashtadhyayi, Natyashastra, Dharma Sutra. Because this was asked previously in NPSC also. Ashtadhyayi. It is, the answer is Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi is a book on Sanskrit grammar written by Panini. And this was the question asked previously also. Who wrote this book? Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi is written by Panini. And it is a book on Sanskrit grammar. Okay, so that is all in today's series, and you can see the answer also. Answer is B. That is all in today's series. Thank you very much.